For thousands of years, these stories have shaped our world. A strong man betrayed by his lover, bringing a temple down upon his captors. A young shepherd boy facing a giant, armed with nothing but a sling and his faith. These are the stories of Samson and David, foundational narratives from the Old Testament. And in both and in over 200 other passages, they share a common enemy: the Philistines. The Bible paints them as a formidable, advanced military power, the dominant force occupying the promised land, constantly clashing with the Israelites. They had chariots of iron, they had giants, they had great cities. But for modern historians, a profound question emerged. Where is the evidence? Outside of the sacred text, the historical record was silent. No definitive inscriptions bearing their name. No clear archaeological layer that screamed Philistine Empire. To many, they were phantoms, vivid characters in a holy book, but absent from the annals of proven history. This created a credibility gap, a chasm between faith and fact. If such a major recurring antagonist was merely a literary invention, what does that say about the historical reliability of the Bible itself? The problem was clear and unsettling. Without concrete, external proof, the Philistine wars and the stories that depended on them remained in the shadowy realm of legend. Imagine the scene. You're reading the dramatic account of Samson, fueled by divine strength. You picture the valley of Elah, a young shepherd boy named David facing a giant of a man, Goliath of Gath, clad in bronze armor, his voice mocking the armies of the living God. These are more than just stories. They are the bedrock of culture, of art, of faith itself. They feel real. We can see the dust of the valley, hear the taunts, feel the tension. For millennia, this is where the record existed, in the sacred text, passed down through generations. But then the voice of modern inquiry speaks. It is not loud, but it is persistent. Where are their cities? It asks. Ashkelon, Gath, Ekron, mighty Philistine strongholds. Where is the evidence that they were anything more than small, insignificant villages? Where is their distinct culture? Where are the pottery, the weapons, the inscriptions that would mark them as the advanced seafaring power the Bible so vividly describes? The silence from the ground was, for a long time, absolute. This shadow of doubt doesn't just question the existence of an ancient people. It strikes at the very heart of the biblical narrative. If the Philistines are a legend, then perhaps Samson's feats are just folklore. Perhaps David's victory is mere allegory. This agitation forces a critical question. Is the Bible a historical document, or is it a collection of moral tales built on a fictional landscape? The credibility of the entire narrative begins to feel fragile, balanced on the existence of a single, lost people. The pressure was building. To rescue these stories from the realm of legend, what was needed was a discovery of monumental significance. Not a fragment, but a clear, undeniable, and contemporary record. The world was waiting for a witness from the sands of time. For decades, the silence was the answer. The shadow of doubt grew deep and long. But history, patient and vast, often keeps its secrets buried until the moment is right. And then it was found, not in the hills of Judah, but hundreds of miles away, on the banks of the mighty Nile River in Egypt. At the magnificent mortuary temple of Pharaoh Rameses III at Thebes. Here, carved into the very stone walls around 1175 BC, a story was waiting. A story that would echo all the way to the pages of the Bible. It depicts a great conflict between the mighty Egyptian empire and a coalition of mysterious invaders from across the sea. The inscriptions tell of the Sea Peoples, a confederation, of maritime raiders who threatened to plunge the entire region into chaos. They were the great existential threat of their age. And among these sea peoples, clearly named in the unchanging language of hieroglyphs, is one group in particular. The Peleset. This is it, the proof. The Peleset are the Philistines. This isn't a broken pot or a disputed fragment. This is a contemporary account, commissioned by one of Egypt's most powerful pharaohs to document his victory over a real, tangible enemy. And it shows us exactly what they looked like: their dress, their armor, their weapons. The phantom foe had a face. The inscription tells of their failed invasion of Egypt and their subsequent settlement along the coastal plain of Canaan, the very same region the Bible identifies as Philistia. The timeline, the location, the name, it all aligns. The shadow of doubt was shattered by the light of evidence, carved in stone for all time. The Philistines were real. So we have our proof. The Philistines were real. But this discovery does more than just confirm a name. It allows us to re-examine the biblical text with new eyes, not as myth, but as history. Let's return to the giant in the Valley of Elah. The book of 1 Samuel provides a remarkably detailed account of Goliath's armor. He had a helmet of bronze on his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and he had greaves of bronze upon his legs. For centuries, critics could dismiss this as a later author adding colorful, anachronistic detail. But look at the witness from Thebes. The warriors identified as the Peleset, the Philistines, are depicted wearing feathered headdresses that functioned as helmets, large circular shields, and most strikingly, strips of armor protecting their shins, greaves. The biblical description of Goliath's panoply is not a fiction. It is a precise, contemporary description of the elite warrior class of the Philistines, verified by their sworn enemies, the Egyptians. The solution, therefore, is a dramatic shift in perspective. The Bible is not a book of fables set in a vague, mythical past. It is a historical narrative grounded in real events, real cultures, and real conflicts. The discovery at Thebes proves the biblical writers were recording their history with accurate, eyewitness-level knowledge of their world's greatest adversaries. The Philistines are no longer phantoms. They are a people documented by empires, their warriors captured in stone, their story forever intertwined with that of Israel. This is more than an archaeological find. It's a powerful testament that the Bible, from the battles of Samson to the sling stone of David, is telling us the truth. History, it seems, is written by the victors, but sometimes it's verified by their enemies. What other archaeological discoveries confirm the biblical narrative? Let us know in the comments below your thoughts on this incredible find. And make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next investigation into the fascinating intersection of history, archaeology, and the Bible.